Today we delve into the story of the Kaonde people of Zambia. The story of the Kaonde people's story is woven from the threads of three distinct clans, each journeying from the great Luba Empire. These clans arrived in what we now call Zambia, each at different times, bearing different tales, yet sharing a common origin. It was likely in the 1600s that the first of these groups made their way into Zambia, though the exact dates have been swallowed by the passage of time. One such group found their place around Solwezi. Before this, they had roamed the lands south of the Kafue River. There, it is said, they crossed paths with the Ila people. Perhaps the winds of change or the whispers of fate urged them northward once more, where they settled under the guidance of Chief Kasongo. Known as the River Clan, their totem symbolized the lifeblood that flows through our land. In time, another clan ventured from the northern lands. This group, under the leadership of Chief Kasempa of the Mushroom Clan, sought new horizons. Upon meeting Chief Kasongo and his people, they were kindly told that their destinies lay further south. There was no conflict, no strife between these clans, for they recognized each other as kin, sharing an ancestral bond that transcended time. The last of the clans to arrive came from the south, having lived among the Aluyi or Lozi in the Barotse floodplain. Under Chief Ntambo of the Monkey Clan, they sought refuge from the tumultuous times brought by the Kololo invaders, likely during the mid-1800s. Their journey led them to the western reaches of Kaonde land, where they made their new home. The Kaonde people, though bound by shared language and customs, never formed a singular, unified entity under a paramount chief. Instead, they existed as a tapestry of loosely connected families, each weaving their own story. They moved with the seasons, mingling with neighboring tribes, their lives a dance of change and continuity. Thus, the tale of the Kaonde is one of migration and settlement, of clans forging their paths, yet always remembering the roots from which they sprang. Welcome to Myths and History, where we delve into the rich and varied histories of the world's cultures. Today, we embark on a journey through the story of the Kaonde people, a fascinating tapestry woven from the threads of migration, settlement, and enduring traditions. Nestled in the heart of what is now Zambia, the Kaonde people trace their origins back to the great Luba Empire. Over centuries, as I have stated earlier, three distinct clans ventured into this land, each at different times and with unique stories to tell. From the River Clan guided by Chief Kasongo to the Mushroom Clan under Chief Kasempa, and finally the Monkey Clan led by Chief Ntambo. Their migrations and settlements paint a vivid picture of resilience and adaptability. Join me as we explore the tales of these clans, how they interacted with neighboring tribes, how they adapted to new environments, and how they maintained their cultural identity without ever uniting under a single chief. Through their story, we uncover the essence of the Kaonde people, a community bound not by a centralized authority, but by shared heritage and a deep connection to their land. If you enjoy our journey through history, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and share it with your friends. Your support helps us continue to bring you the stories of the world's diverse cultures. So sit back, relax, and journey with us into the past as we unravel the history and legacy of the Kaonde people. Origin. Long before the year 1600, the ancestors of the Kaonde people were part of the illustrious Luba Empire, located in what is now the Democratic Republic of Congo. Oral traditions tell us that within this grand empire, they were associated with the Basanga group, although they were generally known as Baluba, the name given to all subjects of the Luba kingdom. Chief Kasongo and the Balonga clan. As mentioned in our introduction, the earliest known chief among the Kaonde was Chief Kasongo. The history of his rise to leadership remains shrouded in mystery, as no surviving texts or oral traditions reveal who the first Chief Kasongo was or when he assumed his role. Despite being from the Balonga clan, Chief Kasongo commanded respect from other clans as well. Chief Kasongo had a noteworthy family. His elder brother was named Mushima, and his elder sister, Nyonyi, was a woman of considerable authority. Nyonyi had 4 sons: Nyoka, Kayindu, Kapiji, and Mushima, also known as Mubambe. Each of her sons became sub-chiefs within their respective clans, signifying Nyonyi's influential status. She even established her own village, Katokanyonyi, situated in the southeast of the Katanga region, above the Lualaba River. There are traditions suggesting that Nyonyi was also known as Kamuyange. If this is accurate, it implies she was the first Chief Kapiji, as the first known Chief Kapiji bore the name Kamuyange. Supporting this theory is the fact that she had a son named Kapiji. It is said that Kapiji had frequent disputes with Chief Kasongo, prompting him to migrate northwest, following the path of his uncle Mushima. Nyonyi might have joined her son in this migration. They eventually settled with Mushima in the Lualaba Basin, near a stream called Kaonde. Meanwhile, Nyonyi's other sons, Nyoka, Kayindu, and Mushima, the younger, remained in Chief Kasongo's territory near the Kafue River, continuing the lineage and influence of their esteemed family within the Kaonde community. I am now going to tell you about the name Kaonde and where it came from. Around the year 1700, the name Kaonde was first bestowed by the Lunda chief Muso Kantanda Ilunga Tefek. But how did this name come to be, and what does it signify? Let me tell you a little history here. The story begins with Chief Kasongo's older brother, Mushima. Amidst internal succession disputes and relentless raids from the Baluba people, Mushima decided to lead his clan and followers away from the turmoil of the Katanga area. They journeyed across the Kafue River, also known as the Luenje River, and found refuge in the region nestled between the Congo and Zambezi watersheds, among the tributaries of the Lualaba River. Upon their arrival, Mushima and his people discovered that the land was already inhabited by the Bambwela groups. Undeterred, Mushima confronted and defeated the Bambwela, claiming the land for his clan. It was in this new territory that the name Kaonde emerged, marking the beginning of a new chapter for Mushima and his followers. Thus, the name Kaonde symbolizes not only a geographical shift but also a story of resilience and conquest, reflecting the spirit of the people who adopted it. But this is just getting deeper. Let me elaborate on this point. I have just told you that Mushima sojourned between the Congo and Zambezi watersheds. After finding refuge in this land, Mushima ventured further northwest until he reached a small river called Kaonde, a tributary of the Mukwiji River in the Congo River Basin. There, he encountered the Lunda people and pledged allegiance to their king, Mwachiamvwa, Mwata Yamvo. Mushima likely sought the king's protection from the persistent Luba raiders. In return for his loyalty, Mwachiamvwa granted Mushima the title of Ilunga, henceforth known as Mushima Ilunga. This elevation, however, incensed the Lunda paramount chief, Muso Kantanda Ilunga Tai. Despite his high rank, Muso Kantanda was also a subordinate to King Mwachiamvwa. In short, Muso Kantanda was jealous for the fact that Mushima just came and Mwachiamvwa gave him the title of Ilunga. Muso Kantanda believed that the prestigious title of Ilunga should belong solely to him. When Muso Kantanda and Mushima eventually met, Muso Kantanda demanded that Mushima relinquish the title. Mushima's refusal led to a fierce confrontation between the two chiefs and their followers. The battle, fought around the year 1700, raged for 2 days. The precise number of casualties remains unknown, but it was a time and period when battles were waged with bows and arrows, long before the introduction of guns. Ultimately, Musokantanda emerged victorious. He stripped Mushima of the title Ilunga and imposed a tribute, demanding a slave as a sign of Mushima's defeat. Following his victory, Musokantanda began referring to the vanquished chief as Mushima wa Kaonde, meaning Mushima of the Kaonde River. The Lunda people celebrated this triumph and spread the tale far and wide. Consequently, the name Kaonde quickly took root. Within a few years, it became the name not only for Mushima's people, but also for all the groups originating from Chief Kasongo's domain. And so, the name Kaonde was born from conflict and carried forward through the annals of history, symbolizing a blend of resilience and adaptation that defines the legacy of these people. Before we delve into the significance behind the name Kaonde, I'd like to kindly remind you to subscribe to our channel. Take a moment to click that subscribe button. It's the best way to stay connected and never miss out on our fascinating narratives. I'll give you a brief moment to do so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you for subscribing and for sharing the captivating story of the Kaonde people with others. Your support means the world to us. Let's now talk about the meaning of the name Kaonde. The name Kaonde is believed to mean the thin one, Kaondi. There are 2 primary explanations for this interpretation. The first explanation suggests that the river where the Kaonde people settled was called Kaondi because it was narrow and thin. Consequently, the Lunda people began referring to the inhabitants of the area as a Kaondi. The second explanation is tied to the defeat of Mushima, which we have explained above. After his loss to Musokantanda, the once large number of his subjects was drastically reduced, leaving him with a thin remnant. The victorious Lunda people mockingly called him Mushima the Thin One, Mushima Kaondi, highlighting his diminished power. Interestingly, the Kaonde people seem to accept this new name, despite its origins in a war defeat. It is important to note that during the period when the name Kaonde came into use, there were 2 chiefs named Mushima. The first was the Mushima discussed earlier, and the second was his nephew, Mushima Mubambe, who was a younger chief. After the conflict with Musokantanda, the records about Mushima and his people become sparse. However, it is evident that internal conflicts within his chiefdom led to divisions and the formation of separate groups. Today, 2 chiefs who split from the original Balonga chiefdom of Mushima remain. 1. Mushima Kaonde, a Balonga chief residing in the Congo and closely related to Muji Manzovu. 2. Mushima Mulonga, another Balonga chief, whose people live near the source of the Lunga River, east of Solwezi. He too is closely related to Muji Manzovu. Thus, the name Kaonde carries with it the echoes of historical events, symbolizing both geographical features and the trials faced by Mushima and his people. Migration. Upon the death of Chief Kasongo, the kingdom was divided among his 4 brothers, who established their own independent chiefdoms. Let me remind you, we are talking about Chief Kasongo, the one we mentioned earlier, who had a brother named Mushima and an elder sister, Nyonyi. One of these brothers, Kapiji, adopted the name Kasongo and became known as Kapiji Kasongo. Mushima's journey. Kasongo's elder brother, Mushima, was the first Kaonde to depart from the Katanga area. He crossed the Kafue River, also known as the Luenge, and settled in the region between the Congo and Zambezi watersheds, among the tributaries of the Lualaba River. To his north were the Baluba people, and to the south, the Ila people. Mushima's arrival in this land coincided with the movements of Musokantanda Tabain, Ilunga, of the Lunda people. Upon entering this new territory, Mushima encountered the Bambwela, whom he fought and eventually drove from their land. The term Bambwela comes from the Lunda word for south, Kabeta Kakumbwela, meaning direction of the south. The Lunda people used this name for the groups living south of their kingdom, including the Nkoya and the Mashasha. We will not dwell much on Mushima because we have already explained how he met Musokantanda of the Lunda people and what happened. Following Mushima's migration, the 4 sons of Kamuyange, who had divided the original chiefdom among themselves, also began to move. This wave of migration gave rise to notable chiefs such as Kapiji Mpanga and Muji Manzovu. Let's talk about them now. Kapiji Mpanga. Although Kapiji Mpanga is often written as a single name, it actually represents 2 individuals, Kapiji and Impanga. The origins and stories of these 2 names merge as we delve deeper into the history. Thus, the migrations of these chiefs and their people carved new paths and established the foundations for the diverse Kaonde chiefdoms that followed, each carrying forward their unique legacies and traditions. Kapiji. The name Kapiji carries a dual meaning. In one context, it signifies small puff adder, a type of snake. However, when the Kaonde was still part of the Basanga people in the 1600s, Kapiji meant a small hill in Kisanga, the Basanga language. The true origin of the name remains a topic of debate. Kapiji was the son of Nyonyi. If you remember, I mentioned earlier that Nyonyi was also known as Kamuyange, and that she who was the elder sister of Chief Kasongo. It is this same Nyonyi who had 4 sons, Nyoka, Kaindu, Mushima, and Kapiji. These sons founded the chiefdoms that bear their names today. According to oral tradition, Kapiji was the youngest. So in the late 1600s or early 1700s, Chief Kasongo passed away and his nephew Kapiji ascended to leadership, adopting the name Kapiji Kasongo. His brothers, Nyoka, Kaindu, and Mushima, each took their followers and migrated south. Kapiji later decided to leave the Luba kingdom, heading northwest. However, upon learning of his uncle Mushima's defeat by Musokantanda, Kapiji altered his course and migrated south, reaching the confluence of the Lunga and Kafue rivers. There he discovered that Chiefs Nyoka and Kaindu had already settled in the area, which was inhabited by the Bambwela people. Upon arrival, Kapiji was welcomed by Chief Kale, Kahari of the Bambwela. As a gesture of peace, Chief Kale offered Kapiji a woman to marry. However, their friendship soured over a dispute regarding the royal headdress, the mpande, which Kapiji wore. The Kaonde had brought this mpande with them during their migration. Kale, unhappy with Kapiji wearing the headdress, felt disrespected as the Kaonde were merely settlers. This led to a fierce conflict. Kale's men captured Kapiji, shaving off all his hair, an act of profound insult. Kapiji's people paid for his release, but enraged by the humiliation, he resumed the conflict, killing Kale's younger brother. This warfare persisted for about 3 years until the Kaonde decided to flee, crossing the Kafue River into Ila territory. Chief Kali pursued them but was bitten by a rabid dog and died just before crossing the river. Kapiji and the Kaonde settled near Mutumbwe Hill among the Ila people. It was during this period that Kapiji died. His people were led by other people from his clan. Due to ongoing conflicts among the clans, the new leader bearing the title of Kapiji decided to migrate northwards again at the beginning of the 1800s. Remember, at this point, the original Kapiji who led them from Katanga had long passed, and the people were now led by Chief Kapiji Jinyamba. Under his leadership, the Kaonde clans moved north and settled between Mutanda and the East Lunga River, the region known today as Solwezi. They settled quickly, having previously lived in the area during their initial migration from Congo. Along with them were the Benakulu and Batembuzi clans. Acknowledging Lunda chief Musokantanda's claim to the land, the Kaonde agreed to pay tribute, avoiding conflict. They remembered the defeat of Kaonde chief Mushima by Musokantanda around 1700, which had led to the adoption of the name Kaonde. Thus, Chief Kapiji Jinyamba and his people established their new home, maintaining peace through tribute and settling into the land that would become their legacy. Let's now talk about the saga of Chief Kapiji Jinyamba and his sons. The saga of Chief Kapiji Jinyamba and his sons. Chief Kapiji Jinyamba had a son named Mpanga from a previous marriage. After Mpanga had grown up, Kapiji Jinyamba married Mwaji Mambwe, a woman from the Batembuzi clan and younger sister of Chief Mumena. Together, Kapiji Jinyamba and Mwaji Mambwe had a son named Kasongo Kibanza. Tragedy struck some years later when Chief Kapiji Jinyamba, then about 98 years old, was killed by an elephant while hunting. Before his death, Chief Kapiji Jinyamba had expressed his wish for his son Mpanga to succeed him. However, Kaonde tradition dictated that only a nephew of the chief could inherit the throne. This tradition presented a significant obstacle. Mpanga, being from his mother's Benakulu clan, and Kibanza from his mother's Batembuzi clan, were ineligible to succeed their father. The Balonga clan, the rightful custodians of the chieftainship, fiercely guarded this tradition to ensure the title remained within their lineage. Tensions escalated as the Balonga clan accused Mpanga of causing his father's death. They executed Mpanga and his stepmother, Mwaji Mambwe, further justifying their actions by accusing Mpanga of incest with Mwaji Mambwe. With Chief Kapiji Jinyamba's lineage disqualified and in turmoil, the Balonga sought permission from Chief Musokantanda to appoint Kiweji Yengayenga, a member of the Balonga clan, as the new Chief Kapiji. In the midst of this upheaval, Kasongo Kibanza fled north to seek the intervention of paramount chief Musokantanda. He recounted the brutal slayings of his mother and half-brother, gaining Musokantanda's sympathy. Moved by Kibanza's plight, Musokantanda appointed him as the new chief Kapiji and dispatched men to aid Kibanza in reclaiming his position. A confrontation ensued between Kibanza's forces and those of Kiweji. Kibanza emerged victorious, killing Kiweji and his supporters and firmly establishing his rule. These events occurred in the first half of the 1800s. Chief Kasongo Kibanza, born around 1814, ruled until 1873. Despite his Batembuzi lineage, he successfully united the Balonga, Benakulu, and Batembuzi clans under his chieftainship, fostering a period of stability. He resided in the Mutanda River Basin area. Before his death, Kasongo Kibanza decreed that the Kapiji chieftainship should be returned to the Balonga clan, ensuring the rightful lineage was restored. I believe Kasongo Kibanza acted nobly in restoring the chiefdom to its rightful lineage. So, he was succeeded by Kapiji Kapoba Kubamata, during whose rule the title Mujimanzovu arose to prominence. Let's learn about him. The legacy of Mujimanzovu. After the passing of Kasongo Kibanza in 1873, Kapiji Kapoba Kubamata ascended to the throne. Known colloquially as Kubamata or simply Cuba, he ruled from approximately 1873 to 1895. It was during his reign that the name Mujimanzovu emerged, leaving an indelible mark on Kaonde history. The genesis of this title traces back to encounters with Bayeke warriors who traversed his chiefdom in search of elephant tusks. At the time, the formidable Katanga chief Masidi, also known as Masiri, wielded immense power, dispatching his Bayeke warriors to subjugate smaller chiefdoms. Faced with the imminent threat of violence, Kapiji Kubamata devised a strategic approach to appease these warriors, offering elephant tusks as tribute to Chief Msidi. In the lush lands of Mutanda, elephants roamed abundantly, providing a steady supply of tusks for tribute. Kapiji Kubamata's efforts to maintain peace and avoid confrontation earned him the moniker Mujimanzovu among the Bayeke warriors. Translated as the one who grows elephants, this epithet reflected the chief's willingness to cultivate harmony through diplomacy rather than engage in futile resistance. Over time, the name Mujimanzovu gained prominence, evolving from a descriptive nickname to a distinguished chiefly title. Kapiji Kubamata's legacy as Mujimanzovu encapsulates the pragmatic leadership and astute diplomacy that defined his rule, serving as a testament to the intricate interplay of power and diplomacy in Kaonde society. However, it was during his rule that internal struggles and tensions led to divisions. The genesis of divisions. In a bid to alleviate tensions or perhaps to cultivate harmony within the chiefdom, Kapiji Kubamata Mujimanzovu made a pivotal decision: to grant independence to the Batembuji clan, allowing them to establish their own chiefdom known as the Kibanza chiefdom under Chief Chilundu Kunaka Mwanza, the grandson of the late Chief Kapiji Kasongo Kibanza. However, the birth of the Kibanza chiefdom proved to be more contentious than restorative. Shortly after its establishment, Chief Mujimanzovu passed away in 1895, succeeded by Chief Jipenda Katuta Mwulu. The Benakulu clan, feeling marginalized by the Batembuzi's newfound autonomy while they remained under the Balonga clan, voiced their discontent. In a swift and decisive move in the same year, a formidable hunter named Mwandwe, famously known as Kialupata Jinyamba, led his Benakulu clan in a rebellion against the new chief, Kapiji Jipenda Mujimanzovu of the Balonga clan. Kialupata Jinyamba, renowned for his stature and prowess in battle, emerged victorious, breaking away from the chiefdom with a significant following, primarily from the Benakulu clan. Settling south of Kansanshi near the Kifubwa River, Kialupata Jinyamba adopted the name Mpanga in homage to his late grandfather, the son of the slain Chief Kapiji Jinyamba. Establishing himself as Chief Kapiji Mpanga, he erected his capital at Kimali Hill, south of the Kansanshi mine, in present-day Solwezi. His ascension to chieftainship was solidified by the installation ceremony conducted by two respected headmen, Sandangombe and Nyundo, around the year 1898. Despite initial resistance from various Kaonde clan groups, Chief Kapiji Mpanga persevered until his passing in 1937. He was succeeded by Kapiji Mpanga Kiembe. With the establishment of the Native Authority and Native Courts Ordinance in 1930 by the colonial administration, the Kapiji Mpanga Native Authority gained legal recognition, cementing its status as a legitimate chieftainship. By the early 1950s, Kapiji Mpanga was among the chiefs officially registered under the Solwezi Superior Native Authority, SSNA, marking a pivotal moment in the formal acknowledgement of their authority by colonial governance. If you have been with us up to this point, we appreciate your endurance. Please like and share this podcast. Conclusion: in tracing the rich tapestry of the Kaonde people's history, we uncover tales of resilience, diplomacy, and the indomitable spirit that has defined their journey through the ages. From the ancient origins rooted in the Luba Empire to the intricate dynamics of chieftainships and migrations, each chapter unfolds a narrative of cultural heritage and identity. As we delve deeper into these stories, we invite you to join us on this enlightening exploration. Subscribe to our channel to stay updated on the latest episodes, and don't forget to share this video with friends, family, and fellow enthusiasts of history and culture. Together, let's celebrate and preserve the timeless legacy of the Kaonde people for generations to come. Buy and enjoy more videos from our channel.